So next up, we are going to add a couple of new sections here. Going to be one container with a small contact us section where visitors can click on the button and visit our contact us page, and then another section where we are just showcasing a few client websites through some case studies. So let's get straight on with that now. You'll notice that I've reverted back to the old interface of Elementor. That is purely so that you guys can work along with me using this if you prefer to use this interface, or if you prefer the new experimental interface, which at the time of you taking this course could in fact be implemented as standard, then you can also see that in action as well, just so that you can decide which one you prefer and can choose which one you want to use. So let's go ahead now and get building. We want to first add in a new container. We're going to go horizontal for this one, and then we're going to drag in a new container, so a second container in that. And inside of this container, we're going to change the horizontal, the direction to horizontal as well. And then we want to drag another two more containers inside of that. So let's drag that one in, and then let's go ahead and just duplicate that. So we have two containers inside of this one. So what we want to do here, I'm thinking we're going to have a contact us button over here, and then we're going to have a heading over here with a small bit of text below it. So let's drag those elements in now. So we want to come up to here. We're going to drag in a heading into here. Also going to drag in a text editor below that. And I'm going to drag in a button. So let's search for a button. Drag a button into this one. So that is all okay now. Let's just first configure this button. So the container that button is in, let's just change that to a line justify content center, and then a line at the end, so that it looks like that. And then again with this container, the one which is containing our heading and text, let's go ahead and make that justify content center, and then align items start. So that is okay. Now we can actually start editing this. So let's come along to our heading. Let's just give this a title, I don't know, get in touch with us today, or get in touch with us and see if we can help, or get in touch with us. That will do. It really doesn't make a difference because you'll edit this to make it suitable to your needs anyway. So let's now come down to the text here. In fact, I might even just leave that in because, again, it doesn't really make much difference. If we did want to use a Hipsum, we could go ahead and use Hipsum. If I could spell it correctly, Hipsum. Another thing that I use all the time is, of course, ChatGPT. If you are not using ChatGPT, then you are behind the times. You can absolutely get it to write whatever you want. I've literally just given it some context of what I wanted here. Not that I'm going to be taking the time to plug this content in because, again, it's irrelevant to you. You need to put stuff in for yourself. But I've literally just asked ChatGPT here, can you help me write some compelling website copy for a web developer agency website I am building? I need written content for the homepage, specifically for clients who are looking for help building their new websites using WordPress and Elementor. Do you understand? Yes, I understand. And here is all of his text. So we could copy and paste this in and use it wherever we wanted on our website. Now, the more context that you give ChatGPT, the more that you layer up his understanding of what you're trying to get, then the better responses and answers you'll get from him. So that's just that's called prompt engineering, basically. So we're basically just prompting him to give him all of the information to then give us the best possible outcome. Now, of course, this isn't a course on AI, but ChatGPT is certainly an AI that you want to be using to help you build your websites. It is fantastic. So let's carry on with this contact us page. I'm just going to leave that with the lorem ipsum. That's absolutely fine. Let's now just come along and style this. Text color, let's change that to text, and the typography to text. So that is okay. Again, with the heading, let's come up to the heading. Let's make that a H3 element. We don't want too many H2s. I'm going to come along to style, text color, let's make that accent, and then the typography, let's make that primary. In fact, we could just select the secondary heading there, leave it like that. In fact, no, I'm going to keep it primary. Why not? Get in touch. That is absolutely fine. And that is okay for now. I'm happy with that. What we do want to do is I'm thinking with the inner section that contains both of those containers, so this one here in the hierarchy, what I want to do is give this a border radius and a background color of white. So let's come along to style, background color white, and then we want to give it a border radius under border, and then we want to increase the radius to maybe, let's just say 10 for now, maybe 15, we'll see which looks best. But what we are going to do on the top level container is now let's just give this a fixed height. So maybe 300, 320, that'll be fine. Let's now give this a background color under style of gradient. The color, first color will be primary, second color secondary. And then what we are going to do is we are going to change that angle. So let's change that angle to 120. 120. That is okay. That's looking okay. Then looking at this, we also need to justify the content for this container here, right? So we can see at the minute this is taking all of the gap, all of the space top to bottom. So to change that, we can come to the top level container, so its parent container, the one that we're already in. Let's come to layout here, and since we haven't set any alignment or justify, we haven't set any of those yet, it doesn't know which one to do. So let's just align these items now in the center, and we can see now that that is only filling in the space that those elements are actually taking. So that is what I was looking to achieve, something like that. And you can see that we've got that soft border radius around that inner section, that inner container. And I think for now that is probably going to be okay. Of course, with this button, we'd want to say contact us. Can't spell at all today. Contact us. Obviously, you'd put your link in there as well. And then that would be that section complete. So very simple contact us section. And now we want to actually add another section here where we are going to start building out our case studies. So in fact, what I will do, I'll bring this lesson to an end just to keep them nice and short, and we'll pick up the next section in the next lesson.